It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city join forces. Benny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
Pertinent information in all those things. Today we gotta flip the script a little bit. Last week it was just pertinent pre-Super Bowl information. As Terry T.B. Brown is in here, Vinny Hardy, of course, another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday. Today is a little pertinent aftermath of the Super Bowl 58. We had to hit that. Get TB's thoughts. Just have to give you the floor, man. Have to just give you the floor. Talk about the Cats and Ole Miss in a little bit. We got our friend Tina Cox coming back on. As everybody knows, we're live on Twitter, X, Facebook, YouTube. Y'all jump in the comments. If y'all on Twitter, retweet it. Tell your friends, share. Coming to you courtesy of the BS3 Network, who was at the Super Bowl representing Ben Sutterth, King Dalk, Courtney Hawkins. Everybody was there at the Super Bowl doing their thing. So we're proud to be part of that network. Check out the other podcasts that are in the network as well. Also proud of the Autograph app. We've been telling y'all about that for the past few weeks, where you can do what you do already. Just do it in the Autograph app. Like listen to this podcast, get points, get swag, get merch, all kinds of stuff. So we're proud to be partnering up with the Autograph app, where you get rewarded for listening to this show. The team at Autograph, it's co-founded by Tom Brady, like we said, is redefining the fan experience by letting users earn points for the acts of fandom they take every day, like listening to us, which we definitely appreciate. The Autograph Fandom app gives you access to all your favorite Kentucky content in one place and offers rewards like tickets, exclusive merchandise, and more. You're already listening to our show, but now you can earn points and get rewarded for it. I say this has Michelle Morton's name all over it. I say it each and every time. I know she said she tried to download it. She had a little bit of trouble, but she is getting in there as well. And the developers are getting back to her. Even if you're a fan of another team, you can still use our promo code Cats Talk and then get all the content you normally consume for your team, North Carolina, Michigan, whoever you like. Jump in there, which I don't know why you would like those other teams, but if you do, use our promo code and get in there and use the Autograph app. So earn rewards for listening to the podcast, doing stuff that you already do. So check out the Autograph app, download it. Had some people ask me about Android. When you see our links, it's for Apple, but there's a button where you can say tap to join the Android waitlist. They are working on getting the Autograph app for you Android folks as well. They're not going to leave y'all in the lurch. TB, man, Super Bowl 58. You still you a diehard, no fair weather fan. You still rocking that 27 Brown, your cousin, still coming in here faithful to the bay with your gear. So man, just talk to us.
He got an interception, which I told you on this very airwaves. I said that's part of. Obviously, I want to win, but it would be nice if Jair Brown got an interception, and he did.
He sure did.
So, man, it's just frustrating. I mean, a touchdown in overtime, 3 seconds left in overtime. That's a tough way to go out, man. That's a tough way to go out. But disappointed, sad, heartbroken, all those sports cliches. It was a tough way to lose, but gotta keep plugging along, man. I mean, San Francisco had the opportunities. There was a missed extra point, which loomed large, and a couple of third downs that the Niners weren't able to convert. And one thing about it, Patrick Mahomes is on that level. He was not great for most of the game, but when he had to be great, he was great. I don't think this is indicative of Purdy, because I thought he played okay. Not great, but not terrible. So I don't think that there's a question about, is he the man moving forward? I think he is. As I've said, I'd be interested to see what he does with a full off season, healthy off season to kind of put some work in. But you know, I'm hopeful that the window is still open, but I don't know.
Everybody's a year older. Warner's, Kittle, the stars. Greenlaw had the unfortunate injury. I mean, just stepping onto the field, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was, the Achilles right there, and because he had played well, up,
Mm-hmm.
flying around. He's the perfect complement for Warner. So that was huge. Debo not 100%. I think he tweaked his hamstring, and so I mean, I'm not saying that is the reason we lost. I mean, sometimes you just lose, and there's nobody's real fault with that. That's just how it is. We did not take advantage. I thought we were playing pretty well, but getting up 10 points, it was one of those we probably should have punched in another one.
Because that was me. I had no dog in the fight. But I'm like, if I'm a Niners fan right now, I said, as you talked about many times, up 10 with 5 minutes to go. This up 10 in the second quarter is nowhere near enough cushion.
Yeah.
So, and it turned out to be they were able to rally and get it to overtime, and we know what happened with the rest.
And not capitalizing off the turnover. Like I said, Jair Brown had that interception first drive of the second half, and I'm like, man, you get a touchdown on the board, this may be it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get a touchdown on the board, and then you can start grinding out the ball a little bit, using some of that clock. But it didn't happen. Very, very frustrating for everybody involved.
They might have scored when McCaffrey fumbled too. That was inside the red zone.
That was very reminiscent of the Minnesota game that I went to.
Ooh.
Driving down, fumble, it just derailed everything. So we shot ourselves in the foot, the fumble on the punt, which kind of gave the Chiefs that sparkling field position. So
that was CPR for them. That was CPR for the Chiefs, man.
It was bad. Had flashbacks to Kyle Williams in the 2011 NFC Championship game. Look, so I know nobody's going to feel sorry for San Francisco fans. That's fine. But man, 3 Super Bowls, losing in pretty heartbreaking fashion, getting to the 5-yard line and not be able to punch it in against the Ravens, up 10 with 6 minutes left against the Chiefs, and this one giving up that touchdown in overtime with 3 seconds left. Brutal.
Is this the most brutal since it's the most recent? Is the recency bias thing, or was the other ones maybe more, the last Chiefs Super Bowl more gut wrenching than this one, or this one since it just happened 3 days ago?
I mean, yeah, no, this one because we had the chances to win this. To put it out of reach the entire game and just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the frustrating thing. Yeah, I mean, losing overtime, that's tough.
What about the whole Andy Reid knew the rules and the 49ers didn't and all that kind of stuff?
No. A couple of the players said they didn't. They weren't clear on the rules. Armstead and Jusic. The coaching staff was well aware of what they wanted to do. They had a plan. It didn't work out. So no, I know it's going around that the 49ers didn't know that's not accurate. That's not what was said. The Chiefs players, kind of saying, yes, the coaches went over, but the coaches knew what was going on. And as Kyle Jusic said, that really wouldn't have changed if he knew the ins and outs. It wouldn't have changed how they performed, right? That's not the reason they lost the game. Is because of this perception that no one in the 49ers organization knew the overtime rules.
Like as detailed as Kyle seemed to be, I was like, man, that's
And that's my point is.
Mhm.
So, but what was said was Armstead and Jusick said they didn't know or whatever it was. They did not say the coaches didn't know. That's not what was said.
Okay. So they just
The coaches knew.
so Armstead and them just was like
Probably,
daydreaming that day
they
in the meeting.
well and whether or not they went over, I don't know. But to say that the coaches, no one on the San Francisco 49ers sideline knew how the rules work, that's not accurate. I don't think that's a fair statement.
Okay. Well, you declare that. See, that's why I asked you because I'm just
No,
I ain't up in it. I'm hearing what people saying.
Yeah,
Let me
I
ask
know.
you about
Bits
it.
and pieces are good, but that's
Yeah.
not accurate. That's not accurate. No.
Steve Wilkes, your boy, your defense coordinator. Y'all had Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah.
Now Steve Wilkes, and gonna have a new DC next year. So we're gonna get you up in it. You faithful to the Bay. Your thoughts? Should he be gone? Should he stay?
Yeah, Steve Wilkes wasn't a good fit,
Mm.
and that was pretty evident early on with some of the things he did. Again, going back to the Minnesota game, right? Minnesota scored a touchdown right before halftime on a 0 blitz. I mean, and part of it was those previous gentlemen that you mentioned coordinated from the sideline. Steve Wilkes likes to be up in the booth, so they had to have that change, and it never really was a good fit. Now, people can say, oh, this is a knee-jerk reaction and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, had the 49ers won the Super Bowl, it would have been awkward for him to go. But everything I understood was like, no matter what happened, he was going to be gone.
Now, when did he come to the sideline? Because he was on the sideline Sunday. Was that his first game?
No, after the 3-game losing streak.
Okay.
He came down and was on the sideline, which I thought was a step in the right, but that's not how he operates. And so there was just some philosophical differences between Wilkes and Shanahan. And so I'm not surprised. I don't think this is a big to do. It just wasn't a good fit.
Mm.
And folks are trying to, and I've seen a lot of these memes around, so Steve Wilkes, look what they doing to the brothers. Calm it down. Right? Because, and I want to make sure I'm accurate with this. Give me just a moment. So there was a write-up on Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers before the Super Bowl. Basically, you've heard of the Rooney Rule when it comes to. So part of that Rooney Rule is if you have Black or minority coaches that move up and take other jobs, you get compensated with draft picks. Okay. The 49ers do it so well, other teams are mad about diversity. Like, what did you say at the top? D'Amico Ryans was a DC head coach. Robert Saleh, DC head coach. Black Mike down in Miami.
Yeah. So when they left, y'all got picks?
Yes, we get
okay.
you get picks.
Okay.
I forget the verbiage, but it's basically because this past year it was D'Amico and another coach that as they move up and out. So I get what people are trying to say, but the Steve Wilkes thing ain't that. I've seen a lot of the memes, y'all should have done right by Colin Kaepernick. They did. Right. I know the NFL's this, that, but the Niners, like I said, are taking advantage. I don't want to say taking advantage because they're hiring great people. Like D'Amico Ryans was not a diversity hire, but him going to the Texans, yes, the 49ers were compensated for that. Because remember, D'Amico worked his way up. Huh?
What the other teams mad because they having to give them picks? Or they mad because they're hiring minorities that are succeeding?
Yes.
What are we mad about?
Yeah. They are upset because they think that 49ers are taking advantage of the situation. But the thing is, every team can do this. Every team can hire black people.
You know,
The first woman in NFL history that had a coaching job, coach for San Francisco. What are we doing? People want to hate. That's fine. I don't want people to like but this, well, the 40. No, man. No. And as soon as I saw the Steve Wilkes news, I was like, I know what it's going to be. I know what people are going to say. It just wasn't a good fit.
And they can't get picked. They can't get picked for firing him anyway, right? I mean, if he leaves and takes another,
right? But people's like, well, look what they're doing to the black guy. This ain't that. Right. Wilkes just was not a good fit from the jump.
Now, when he got 1 year at Arizona, I thought that was messed up. But this is a different situation. And I know he went 1-15, but so did Jimmy Johnson with my Cowboys. And he got to come back. So I ain't saying he's Jimmy Johnson, but I'm saying he should have maybe at least got another year in Arizona. That's all I'm saying.
But per NFL rules, teams who minority members of the coaching staff or front office that are hired away by another team receive compensatory draft picks in return.
Yeah, still nothing to be mad about. If you feel he's worthy of hiring, then you should have no problem parting with the picks.
That's the thing is we are bringing them up through the ranks.
I want D'Amico, but I'm sure mad I got to give up these picks. What?
Well, no, it's just picks that the league slides in. It's not like it comes from anybody else.
Yeah, crazy.
It's not like the Texans had to give the 49ers a pick. The league just gave the San Francisco an extra pick.
It's like the NCAA being mad about players getting paid. Y'all still ain't having to pay them. So what y'all mad about? It's just silly. Just silly. But yeah, Steve, he went from Arizona. He was with Missouri for a while. Cats had to go up against his defenses for a couple of years. He was over at Carolina for a minute for interim before he went to y'all. And
look, I changes had to be made. The defense was not great. Part of it is he just wasn't reaching the players. Because, yes, you beat Green Bay. Yes, you beat Detroit, right, in this year's playoffs. However, coming out of both those games, it was like our defense got to play hard. That's not what you're supposed to say in January and February. We got to get these guys to play hard. And it was almost as if, and I don't want to belittle man and kick him on the way out, but it felt to me with the Detroit game, it was Fred that was basically like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to simplify. This is what we're going to do. And this is what they did.
Fred out there, Tyler Ullison, huh?
Yeah. and just, yeah. And I know people that, well, you held Mahomes and them to 20 points in regulation or whatever it was, 19 points, whatever it was, 22, whatever. But, man, it was to the point where there were plays to be made for the defense and the guys weren't in the right areas to make the play. You've got to make adjustments. And that was the issue. That was the issue. So I don't think it's, we got to get rid of Steve. We got to get rid of Steve Wilkes because he wasn't a good fit.
Yeah. And, I mean, they got a pretty good track record of bringing in, guys at that spot. So, I'm sure y'all will make another good hire and keep it moving, man. Keep it moving. It's all about health now. If you talk about the Bulls and all those teams that make long playoff runs year after year, and that's kind of where the Niners are now. That core has been there. Purdy's young, but I'm talking about Kittle and Warner and some of those guys. Can they hold up for another run to February? And
and I still feel that next year, because most of the key components are coming back. Okay. For me, and I know this sounds crazy, I'm still not worried about anybody in the NFC.
Boss man Ben Sutterth, yes,
Yeah,
and yeah, ooh,
yeah.
Mm.
But I'm still not worried about anybody in the NFC. Who's the
and
top
that's
teams in the NFC?
that's on us. As a conference to give y'all something to worry about.
I'm,
We gotta catch up to y'all, just like people had to catch up to the Warriors. Y'all got the target. Y'all are the hunted. We gotta give y'all something to worry about. I'm talking about my
right.
Cowboys. I'm talking about Seattle. I'm talking about Detroit. I'm talking about we gotta make y'all worry about us.
It's a mental thing with Dallas. They
Mm-hmm.
want to beat the 49ers
Mm-hmm.
and can't.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Philadelphia Eagles flapping their gums like, hey, y'all, look, man, that is whew. We broke them.
Yeah.
The Niners broke the Eagles. They were 10-1, gave up -2 total yards in the first quarter against San Francisco. And then all of a sudden, from that point forward, Philadelphia was broken. Right.
Went
Uh,
to the link and done them like that too.
so it's a weird space, the Niners are kind of in that space this last few years where it's like my Lakers, like the goal is to win it. Like we not here to make the playoffs or be a number 1 seed or get to the Super Bowl. So I don't know what moves you make. You got to do something.
Purdy's still on the rookie deal for one more year.
Yeah, I think he's got one more year. Ayuk's got one more year on his deal. So this upcoming season is going to be the next cheap season before we got to start paying other folks.
Mm-hmm. And y'all managed it well. It's worked out with Purdy. You went from Jimmy G to Purdy, and it smooth transition. There's teams, look at the Browns and 20 and 30 quarterbacks in 10 years. So that's worked out.
But the frustrating point is, 7 NFC championship games in 13 years and not one Super Bowl. That is just being very, very good. And that's not getting it. That's not getting it done.
It's the Milwaukee Bucks in the 80s with Sidney Moncrief and Terry Cummings, and they didn't even make it to the finals. They was losing to Boston and Detroit and Philly, and it was good, winning 53 games, whatever they were doing. But yeah, if y'all don't cap it, it'll be like that. It was good, but it's not what the Niners are used to. And poor old Joe Montana and Jerry Rice out there coming and watching y'all lose Super Bowls. That's so foreign to them. Like, what is going on? We didn't lose these games. So we'll see if it's the bounce back, man. See if y'all can bounce back.
Yeah. So like I said, the NFC I'm not too worried about, but there's some young teams coming up, maybe the Rams or whoever. But this upcoming season, this might be the last go round.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So all about the health, and then how Lynch and everybody plays with the cap, and who to pay and who not to, and who to replace when you decide that you're not going to pay them. That's and how they continue to draft as well. But yeah, that's where y'all are. And speaking of the Chiefs, the parade was today, and hate to see that thing get marred by a shooting.
Yeah,
right at the end. So one person lost their life. Last I saw, 22 injured.
That's ridiculous. We can't even get together to celebrate the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. So our Brian Jones, friend of the show, Jayhawk fan, Kansas City fan, Al High, friend of the show. Congratulations to them. But man, I hate to see that at the parade.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad.
Mm-hmm. I was you about to say something? I saw Brian. We both replied to Brian talking about woke up a world champ again. I know you saw that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good feeling, and look, as I try to tell people, Sports, you have look in the moment. Yeah, I was sad when my team lost, but in the big scheme of things, I still feel pretty good because the Niners are trying to win,
They definitely are.
and it's. I really, really wanted that championship T-shirt
Mm-hmm.
because now it's like my 49ers, we're the choke artists. We can't get this done.
Ooh, Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Ooh. Mm.
Yeah. People I've seen making allusions to the Buffalo Bills of the 90s. That is not fun, man.
Man.
That's not fun. Especially for a franchise. We're not made to just be here.
Mm-hmm. Yo.
And I will concede to you. I know you made a very eloquent Facebook post. Yes, it's true. The Cowboys have won more recently than the Niners. I've seen a lot of Cowboys fans point that out.
Kendrick Haskins was with me. Yes.
And if I can, I'll be very respectful. Would you trade the last 30 years for 1 year difference? Would you trade the last 30 years?
Yeah. To be
for 1 year difference.
Contending more than we are, yes.
I mean,
but am I go down that hill? Yeah,
I get it. You got to. I get it.
The same way I died on that hill until the Eagles finally won one. I was like, y'all contributed nothing to our division, I had to down that hill. They finally brought us, contributed one. But you know how I used to poke them the same way. Get the most prestigious division in the history of the league, and the Eagles have contributed nothing. And I said that till I couldn't say it no more. So I gotta rock with the y'all's drought is longer than ours until I can't say it anymore. Because at this rate, y'all gonna win one before us. So I gotta down that hill.
Well, there's so many reasons I wanted to win because I wanted that to go away. But
Right.
As me and some of the other 49ers fans like Dallas, that's all they got, man. That's all they got. That's all they got. They got nothing to look forward to, and the young fans got nothing to remember. This is all they got. Bunch of young Dallas Cowboy fans, the old heads. Remember,
that's right.
We 1 year, and it is. I give it to you, man. And other teams have won. The Rams have won one during this streak, and Philadelphia has won one and gotten to another one, and it's just frustrating that we can't get over that hump. Even the Buccaneers that were trash except for the 1 year with Tom. Well, the second year as well, but it's just frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So since we've been doing this, we've had the Lakers win a title, Kentucky Volleyball's won a title, the Braves won a World Series, Rifles, always winning titles. I guess that's all the championship wins. We had the basketball got to the championship game against Connecticut. So I guess those are the championships officially, I guess, since we've been
because I was not part of Cubs Nation when they won in 2016.
Right. Okay. So UK volleyball, Lakers, Braves, Kentucky Rifle, 11 times.
And the Lakers still count.
Yeah, you
bubble,
see,
no bubble.
You hear me? I didn't even say bubble. I just said Lakers won title. I didn't even put that little caveat on the end. I said the Lakers won title.
Eventually it goes away. Well, I mean, but that's part of it. Like, one of Washington Super Bowls was during the strike season, or eventually you move away from it, and all that's left is championship. That's it.
Yeah.
Except for your Rockets, because ain't everybody's dying on the hill that 94, 95 championships don't count.
Oh yeah.
I've been long talked about that, man. And that's why I sent that thing to you on I guess on Twitter about Hakeem that season. My God, I forgot how defensive player of the year, like finals MVP, like regular, like woo, man. Hakeem was a whole problem. Like we talk about dudes doing it with dudes, like he had some very good players. That was Hakeem and some dudes. That's all that was. Clyde Drexler was a name, but Clyde Drexler was not a dude at that point.
Yeah, because he was killing. It was a trade. It traded for him, but he was kind of ring chasing at that time. At that point,
Yeah, and so anytime you get a chance to win, you try to take care of the opportunity because you don't know if you're going to be back.
Mm-hmm. Because they'd already won it before they got Clyde anyway. It wasn't like they brought Clyde in to get the first one. He joined the defending champs, who were, they were struggling. They was a 6th seed or whatever, but
and
ran through everybody in the playoffs.
Absolutely. So,
and like I tweeted you and Adam Jacoby, he was doing that while doing Ramadan, while not eating for a month.
Yeah.
And then getting your weight back and your strength back when the playoffs came around.
I don't think we talk about Hakeem Olajuwon enough. Like, I don't think we need to rank top 10 players all time. You can have your GOAT discussion. Okay. Where people fall in that. And then Magic being point guard 1, I think is what most people, I've not seen anybody try to push. He shouldn't be point guard 1. But after that, okay, Elgin Baylor versus, I just don't, your top 75 or whatever. What's the difference between being ranked 21 and ranked 22? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
But that's just me. I try not to get involved in that.
Did you see a couple of years ago? I guess now the NBA on TNT they did a little fantasy draft for the top 75. It was you had inside the NBA guys, Kenny Chack and
I didn't see that.
It was fun. It was funny. You had Chris Haynes and Shams Shabrania were they were a team. Jerry West was drafting by himself. Dominique Wilkins was drafting by himself. D.L. Hughley by himself. D. Wade, Candace Parker, and I think Adam Lefkoe from NBA TV. They were a threesome as a group. It was like 8 or 10 teams. They put the top 75 up on the big screen, and then it was just like a snake draft. And everybody drafted their team and, argued as to why their team was the best. Ernie Johnson hosted. It was cool. I missed it. I was like a year or so late, but me and Micah watched it the other day, and it was, Charles joking with people. D.L. Hughley, he had jokes. Quavo from the Migos drafted a team by himself, and he was, of course, the youngest one in there. He was going basically by drip. I'm doing my team all based off of drip. So he had Walt Frazier. They had to tell him that Walt Frazier was. It's like he the faucet. He originated drip. So they had to tell him. And he had Gervin. He had Clyde. Then he had young guys. But I'm gonna send it to you because it was just fun to watch. Me and Michael watched it the other day, man, and it was neat, man. And I don't know how I missed it when it first came out, but it was fun television, man.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I enjoy that kind of thing. Got to share news too. Big Miss got a scholarship. Play some lacrosse at college. I'm gonna keep the college on the down low and give her a little bit of privacy, but I'm ready to be an NIL dad at this point. She'll come to that car wash, but yeah, that was a pretty big. The weekend itself with the Gonzaga game and the Super Bowl. My sports fandom was a little rough, but real life, man, it was great. I was back home, got to see the family and everything like that. But yeah, man,
that's all right. So you was doing the whole recruiting process and eliminating and saying thanks but no thanks to this one, and I think we'll go with that one. We'll look at her already.
So I'm stoked, and
this fall should be a freshman.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to act a fool, man.
Ooh, you be at lacrosse games, college lacrosse games.
I'll be in the stands acting a fool, baby.
That's all right.
I'm a little bit of LeVar Ball with a little bit of Richard Williams. Come on, baby, my baby.
You know Earl Woods in there. No Earl Woods in there. No Earl Woods in there though.
It is great, man. It's great because both girls are playing sports I don't know nothing about. So it makes it a whole lot easier. I just get to be dad. And I know the urge of me, if they were playing basketball, no, it's a wrap, man. I know it every time. I'll be like, what are we gonna do on this pick and roll cover? Like I get to go. I really don't know the rules. I cheer when people wearing our shirt cheer. I boo when they boo.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. It's bad.
And they play oldest daughter against young. I'm not calling them Big Miss, Little Miss no more because that's in the past. We can't do that. They played against each other once in high school. They crossed paths one time. Is that how it went?
They didn't because they diverged. Oldest plays lacrosse. Youngest plays field hockey.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were going to play, but we focused just her senior year on lacrosse. So that's what she's been on. But
I can't even. Well, you said you don't know the rules. What are the vague general differences between those two? Can you tell us?
Well, field hockey, the ball stays on the ground, and lacrosse is where they throw it in the little, I don't know, stick. I don't know.
And your daughter got a scholarship for lacrosse.
For lacrosse, that's right.
Okay. And here. We might as well go off on this tangent. Every year they show the postseason when it gets to the Final Four and the tournament for lacrosse. They kind of get some play on TV.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and like I said, I don't know the rules either, but the lacrosse goalie to me is almost like useless. They get scored on. Like I don't think I've ever seen them save. In hockey you get these great saves and glove saves. I'm like, have they ever stopped a shot? Every score is like 17-15. I mean,
yeah, but they also played a lot of minutes too. I mean, but it's defense. It's defense, and the thing about it too is lacrosse. You can go behind the goal.
Yeah, like hockey.
And
like
there's a wide space behind the goal that you have to defend, and she plays defense because she likes to hit people. And hey. When I say she's a big miss, I mean she's tall as I am. She's 5'11".
Wow.
Yeah, she's solid, man. Hey, you don't need to hit on me like that now. So we're stoked about it. I'm stoked about it.
So
very, very proud. It's one of those things. She didn't do nothing. Look, I don't know where she get the athletic talent. I'm all about looking good. I don't know where that came from because it ain't me.
So it's the defense to prevent the shot? Because, like I said, on SportsCenter, they be going behind their head on these goalies. They be going behind the back and just whizzing shots.
But the defense is you have to make contact and make them adjust the shot. That's okay. That's what she does.
Shot prevention. And I always, once again, can you imagine if Barry Sanders played lacrosse? They wouldn't even be able to chuck him. I mean, can you?
Yeah, you imagine? Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Was a better lacrosse player than football player.
It's crazy.
If you listen to Dick Schaap talk about it, it was much better at lacrosse. But like I said, lacrosse, field hockey is it's very similar to ice hockey. Obviously, some of the similar rules. They get to be a little physical.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the girls like. They like the physicality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted, and just because girls is playing, hey, it's woo.
Yeah,
it's rough, baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That'll work. I'll get Tina hopping on in a minute. I just sent her the link, so get her thoughts on the game, and she's still doing the media thing a little bit for Vox Views and writing articles and press rowing and all that kind of stuff. So the Cats did get a W last night. Like you said, Gonzaga didn't go like we hoped. And speak of Tina, there she is. Let me get her pulled up. She's backstage in the Biz3 Network green room. Friend of the show. You've been all over the country with her, TB.
She's Mama B's friend.
Of course she is. Yes, she is. She contributes for Vault's Views. We had her on. How time flies. Right after the Toronto trip, she came on, and because she went up there north of the border to watch the squad play. And as we mentioned, she contributes for Vault's Views. Still covers games. Known her forever. Mama B's friend Tina Cox is joining us right now. Tina, how you doing?
I am wonderful. Let me apologize, okay? Number one, happy Valentine's Day to sweeties. Number two, I am in my pink house coat, okay?
Won't you make yourself comfortable, Tina? You need to get a little more comfortable.
I came home from work and I changed clothes, and I looked at the clock and I said, I got to get on there. And then it popped up and I went, well, crap, I'm in my pink fuzzy house coat, making its debut. Okay, we're good. Let's go.
This is classic Tina right here. This is
it, baby. Right, this is it. All we need is a cigarette hanging out of the mouth. I can do that in a minute, but I won't right now.
That's your Vegas picture, right? That was so famous.
God, the infamous Vegas picture. You have got that right. Yes. Good to see you guys.
Oh, good to see you. Good to see you. So you and Rusty and the grandbabies, everybody doing all right before we start playing basketball?
Grandbabies are absolutely wonderful. Rusty has been in the bed with the flu since Monday.
Oh.
We're not going to talk how men are when they're sick.
We are soldiers. We are the toughest.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I've been going to work every day. He's doing better though. He's actually 8 today for the first time, so he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. So
that's good. That's good. So were you at Rupp last night for the late game against Ole Miss?
I was not. I've got so much to say, Vinny. I don't even know where to start. Do you know what?
I read your article.
Okay, that's. I was hoping you did. I did not. Usually I would go. It's hard for me with me working every day to go to a 9 o'clock game, get home at 1 o'clock in the morning. Plus, I'm young and spry, but I'm not that young and spry. I'm tired. Does that make any sense? When I wrote that article that was on Vault's Views last week, I have had more people contact me and say, hey, you said what I'm feeling, And if you know me, I am never negative. I try not to be negative because I don't think anybody deserves that. But I had to do a reality check, and that's the reality check. It's a reality check. We're not where we were. We're nowhere near where we were. We are not the gold standard of basketball right now. We let teams. Do you remember, I was thinking about this, when Billy Gillespie let Gardner Webb come in and beat us at Rupp Arena, and we thought that was the end of the world?
Yeah.
Hey, it happens all the time now, okay? If you unranked, you come in Rupp Arena, it is not hallowed ground anymore. You can lose. I was nervous about this Ole Miss game last night, which is stupid. I've never been that nervous about Ole Miss coming into Rupp Arena. Who are they? You know what I mean? And it's just, it's. I have never known of a season that March so much depends on this March.
That's been my takeaway is I've stayed positive because I'm like, it really didn't matter except for March.
Right.
And I say that even if we were 18-2,
right,
it's still March is everything. All this regular season to me has done is like, you have to make the second weekend at the very minimum.
Well, but here's the deal, TB, and I used to feel the same way, and I still do. But January and February matter too, or you wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now in March.
Well, yeah. No, I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
The stakes have been raised.
If you hadn't dropped all those stupid games that you dropped, and the saddest thing of all to me is I've been around this team a lot. They are the nicest bunch of guys you could ever want to be around. they're just nice kids. And the fan base appreciates, if you're in Rupp, like for Gonzaga and Tennessee and all that, you realize the fans appreciate them. You know, they're not, there were boos for the first time in Rupp Arena during the Gonzaga game, but they weren't directed at the team, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I just think sometimes as a person, we have to take a look in the mirror and do a check and say, you know, is this me? You know, what's going on here? Because you're coming up on March, and I'm telling you, the state of Kentucky basketball is dependent on what they do in March. And we might end up in Spokane. Hell, we might not even end up in it. I mean, good Lord, people. So it's just sad. I just think it's just sad.
Well, and for me, the pieces are good pieces.
They're very good pieces.
I think when we look at some of those teams that weren't great under different coaches, and you could say, okay, this team was fairly limited. Like we knew the Nerlens Noel year, we knew fairly early on that team had a hard ceiling.
Right.
Nobody could create their shots. You know, we don't need to. But with this team, it's like you look at all the ingredients.
Oh, they're there.
And you're like, oh, we got guys that can shoot. We got guys that create. We got athletic guys.
You got a guy that blocked 10 shots last night at Rupp Arena.
And said he was going to do it a couple weeks ago.
I did it. Okay, but is he going to play Is he going to play Saturday? You know, do we know? Well, we might play him. You know, and I have always been a huge Cal supporter. I mean, he has given us some of the best basketball and the best times and done so much for this state. I would never take that away from him. But something's got to give. You know, you've got Duke and North Carolina right now who have new coaches, okay? And they're better than we are. They missed a little bit of a beat, but they didn't miss a big beat, did they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, everybody, Duke's going to go down because Coach K's gone. Well, no, they're in the tournament. And heck, you know, the NCAA will probably end up playing them second game. You wait and see.
That's how they do.
And there I'll be in Pittsburgh with tears in my eyes, getting in my car at 10 o'clock at night to drive home.
Well, hey, you're going to that losing locker room by yourself. We did
I ain't
that
going
once.
nowhere near it. Let me tell you something. I ain't going. I wouldn't take you. TVB and you learned a big lesson that night. You know it?
Vinny, the worst was that Kansas State game with the St. Gilgis team.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even have seats, or if I remember correctly, like we watched.
No, we were back in. They put us back in, and didn't have no food either. They done run out of food.
They ran out of food and everything like that. And the game's over, and it's like, I guess we got to go in this locker room. And Shea, who's balling out at the next level, by the way,
definitely, yeah.
But he's boohooing. I let everybody down, and I'm like
crying.
I'm like,
crying.
I can't be objective. I'm a fan.
I'm getting
I want to hug these kids. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't trying to. What did you think? I want to be like, it's all right, baby. It's all right.
Yeah.
So I ain't doing that. I never will do that.
No. Well, and I've always saved a lot of vacation time and stuff for coming up, and I'm going to be really upfront and honest with you. If they're if they don't end up out in the West in Spokane, I'm not going to go that first game. I'll wait and go the second game. I am not driving 8 hours to watch them get beat and get in my car and come home the next day. I'm not doing it. I'll go for the second game of that round, but I will not go for the first one. I mean, and that's not right. I should already have hotel reservations through to Phoenix.
But that's where you are, and it took some doing to get you there. But
it did.
Honestly how you feel. You want to wait and see. Well, if they win in advance, then I'll go instead of just instinctively getting in the car. It used to be second nature. And now
you just win. I'd already have plane reservations for Phoenix right now, and now it's just not like that anymore. You weigh out. Well, are we going to win or not? Oh, God. It's just like the SEC tournament. We're destined to play Thursday night, okay? I have never been to the SEC tournament on a Thursday night. Okay.
Yep. Good
So
thing
here's
you
my
got that off here, TB.
What'd you say?
Good thing Terry got his tweet off last year about this is how the rest of them play on Wednesday.
Well, because that one year I covered it.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't show up until Friday, and the
Well,
ticket
of
got, because
course.
I'm like, and, get good credentials, and somebody was like, "You must cover Kentucky." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Because all y'all are here picking up your credentials on Friday." I'm like, "Why am I coming all this way on a Wednesday night to watch Ole Miss versus South Carolina?"
And now
yet,
here you are,
we
TV. Here we are. Here we are. So here's my deal. I'm like, well, I never went on Thursdays. You went Friday afternoons. And then you'd stay through the championship game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, why would I go Thursday night? They could get beat. And then I'm stuck in Nashville paying $400 a night for a hotel room. So I'm going to wait and go Friday. I'm going to go Friday and come home Saturday. Might come home Friday night.
I see where you are, and both of y'all are, positive. Hate to be negative.
Yeah.
I don't try to be negative. I try to be as
realistic,
objective as possible and realistic. But just little by little, it's kind of. I'm speaking for you, Tina. It's kind of worn you down a little. Like you said, we don't even hear at Big Blue Madness we're the gold standard anymore. It's not even said.
No.
We don't move the needle. We are the needle. It's not said
that needle's been punctured. There ain't no needle no more. Yeah.
And the Tennessee game, are they top 10? Yes, but we can't even have a lead. We can't even we got to trail the whole game. Really? Gonzaga game just over and over.
Look, all we heard was how bad they were this year. Well, heck, they come in here. They didn't whip our ass, but they did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
I mean, all we heard was how bad Gonzaga was. Oh, they ain't what they used to be. Well, folks, we're not either, let me tell you. So I hope things change. Like I said,
but isn't this, Tina?
Do what, babe?
But isn't this kind of what happens at UK with the coaches? You have that great high point, and then it's, can you get it back? Right? That's what happened with Tubby.
Yeah.
Great high point. Can you get it back? Joe B. Right?
Yep.
Great high point. Couldn't get it back.
They ran Tubby out of here. And his record compared to Cal's right now, Tubby be the king right now compared to what Cal's done to this program. Tubby wasn't doing this. Tubby wasn't doing that. Well, and Cal, I don't know what's going on. I just hope, I don't know. Are they going to make a run? Who knows? I love this new sports betting in Kentucky, but I wouldn't put no money on them. I ain't wasted about $5 this year. I'm going to get me a Big Mac or something. I ain't going to. Just because, and me, I love Kentucky basketball. It is my life. I live it. God, I've traveled Bahamas, Toronto, everywhere. And I'm worn out. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to feel. I don't know what to do. What does he do? What if they don't make a run? Does he leave on his own accord? I don't know. I just don't know. And I hate to be a negative Nelly because I think there's way too many sports shows that are just being negative Nelly right now. I really do. But a lot of what they're saying is true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the thing that kills me was you got to face the music. TB, Vinny, in life, when you screw up, you got to face the music, right? I've had to stand before a judge before and go, oops, sorry, dude, my fault. In a courtroom. When you don't do a post-game show.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. There is that little boy somewhere that waited through that game with that ball to be signed. And all he saw was Kentucky get their butts beat. And all he did was wait there to get that ball signed. And you can't come out and face the music. What are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing?
Yep.
So
you have to give the fans that, because the thing is, and I've seen this bannered about, what is he going to say to make people feel good? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
But the same token is, you still have to come out there.
You got, I don't care if
you still have to
say
do it.
It's my bad. It's my bad. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But thank you for saying that.
Look, none of us want to go to work tomorrow, but we all gonna have to do it. So he didn't want to come out. He didn't want to come out and talk for 15 minutes to the fans. But hey, you and look, the other night on the show, post game last night. Do I have to do radio? I'm not going to stay here long because I got to. You got to do radio. You've been here 15 years. You've been coaching 40 years.
Contract.
Come on, man.
And Tom Leach is good to you. He's a good, person to you.
If Nick Saban can stand there, and put up with this guy from Birmingham or wherever, can maybe compliment Dabo Sweeney. If he can sit there and get chastised by Tyler from where was it? Spartanburg.
Spartanburg. Yeah.
Hey,
took it like a man.
Al, you got to listen to the dude from Bug Tussle. You got to listen to the dude, man.
I mean, it's just, and what happens? I don't know. TB, you remember how much fun Selection Sunday used to be?
Yeah.
Going to Cal's house. My husband
getting yelled at by Mrs. Cal.
My husband threatening, telling me not to steal no toilet paper or nothing. And that's not going to happen this year. You know what I mean? If it does, it's because we lost the first or second night in the SEC tournament and everybody's sitting around. And I'll tell you this, and TB, you remember Vinny, you too, years and years ago when I first started covering stuff for Larry before Cameron, there were games that you could not get a media seat. I know there were some games where I was assigned standing room only. Did you ever go through that?
Kansas.
Okay, right. Standing room only. That meant you could get in the door, but you didn't have a seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time I ended up sitting beside Dale Brown during the LSU game here. Hell, wasn't nobody else sitting there. I just went over and sat down beside him.
But that's what I love about you, Tina.
I don't care. Do you know what? Been there, act like
you're gonna make them. She's like, I'll make them move us. That's how we were courtside. That's how we were courtside at the Duke game.
Yeah, you got to, act like you've been there before, act like you belong. But
which was great until Zion Williamson then started playing. It was great, but anyway,
kept looking up his underwear because he was dunking every ball underneath.
Yeah.
Now with the media,
the Duke Blue Devil actually told us our team wasn't very good, and I was like, "You're not supposed to talk. What are you doing?"
But he was right.
I was like, "I couldn't fight back." I'm sorry. Go ahead, dude.
Anyway, but nowadays with the media, and I'm being very honest with you, and I know a lot of it. Well, I guess I don't know. You could get a media seat if you call 3 minutes before the game. Half of them are empty, and a lot of that has to do with, people are saying, I can Zoom it, I can do everything Zoom, I can sit and watch it on TV and all this. But used to be, it was a privilege to go, standing room only seats. Hello.
At the Kansas game, I stood in the tunnel. I stood in the tunnel with Cameron, and speaking of Dale Brown, I sat there and talked to Larry Brown because he was there watching, in the tunnel. I was like, "What's going on, Coach?" And we sit there and talk,
Well, exactly. I've leaned on this one trash can in that tunnel. It thinks it's my mate. I've leaned on it for how many years now? I'll just kind of belly it. And the funny thing was when the Louisville game at Rupp, it's been a few years ago, and this is great. This guy comes over and he didn't really push me, but I said, "Excuse me." He goes, "I just need to get the trash can." I was like, "Okay." And I look up and I go, "Oh, hi." And he goes, "It was Bill Murray." He looked about as old as dirt. And so this lady goes, "Oh, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll be right back." And he winked at me. Hell, he never came back. He never saw him. That's when his son was coaching at Louisville. Yeah. I remember that though. Yeah. He said, "I'll be right back." He wasn't coming back. He was gone.
He would show up at random places around Louisville.
Yeah, he looked cray.
You'd be out and about, people be like, "Oh, Bill Murray was at such and such." Like, well, all right, crazy.
He wasn't gonna take my trash can though. I can tell you that right now. That's my trash can. So, but no, we'll get through it and we'll see. Who knows in April what we're gonna be talking about? I don't know.
Well, everybody's got their dream list of who to replace Cal, but a lot of people that were on the dream list, like Holtman out at Ohio State.
Yeah, he ain't doing
He
that.
was on the list. Is he still on the list? You know, it's yeah. So I don't know.
I will tell you this: the first phone call will be to Billy Donovan because it's tradition. No, it's tradition.
We got to get his no out of the way.
Yeah, you got. It's tradition. You're gonna call him first, and then I think your second phone call will be Jay Wright. And I would love to have him, but I want to tell you something. I would fangirl out because there ain't nothing better looking than him in the world right now. I would just have to sit there and just stare. I'd be in front row at every press conference with my camera up in his face. I'd be like, "Hey Jay, hey Jay," and then I think Barnhart will look at Scott Drew. I really do, because I think but I don't think Scott Drew's exciting enough for the Kentucky job. I don't think he's got that. I'm a bad boy. You know what I'm talking about? That I don't want to call it. Yeah, he doesn't have that. Oh yeah, go there and whip your ass. He doesn't have that, man. He's a born. I mean, he's a lot like Mitch. He's kind of reserved and stuff. And then, believe it or not, fans are gonna want Bruce Pearl in here, folks.
Yeah, I'm sure they still some just from that excitement and look what he's doing at Auburn. Yes, there's probably some that would feel that way for sure.
I just who knows, but it's okay. Who's gonna pay the $30 million to get Cal out of here? I mean, unless he does the right thing, if they flop in March, which God, I hope they do not, and he steps away and says, I can't do this anymore. But do you go out like that? Is he the kind of personality that would go out like that?
Well, I mean, yeah. That's the thing is, not every coach is going to get that farewell tour.
No, you're right.
But not every coach, you don't want to leave on such a bad note.
No. Do you want his legacy to be what he didn't do? Kentucky basketball fell apart? I mean, I don't know.
Well, for me, Cal had a pretty good setup here, right? When he got here, it's like he reinvigorated the program. All that stuff at UMass and Memphis was a little bit further down on his bio, but now it looks like he's fiddling while it burns. So it was one of those things where is he kicking himself because he didn't jump to the NBA in 2014 or 15, whatever, that dalliance was, right?
Yeah.
Because now it's like, look at what you got.
Yeah, this is where you are.
And this was, and we, some are harsher on him than others about the last 4 or 5 years. Some give him more of a rope for COVID and whatever. But the last, the St. Peter's and last year in the tournament and all that. But this year was the year it looked like you got your ducks in a row and you were going to fix it, which still could happen. But nobody thought we'd have 7, 8 losses at this point based on the team
and
that
Benny,
was
let me ask you
put
this.
together.
How many wins you see the rest of the season?
At Auburn's going to be tough.
We ain't going to beat Auburn.
At Tennessee Goose Givens and Anthony Davis struggle at Thompson Bowling. That's just historical fact.
Right.
They've been number 1 in the country and got beat down there.
At LSU?
They'll sell out and ball, play their best game. Mississippi State is, you better lace them up to play them down there.
You better. That's right. Yeah. And then
ask Tennessee about them earlier this year.
And then everybody says, well, then Vandy comes to town. Y'all remember last year?
They swept us last year.
They beat us 1 week and turned around and beat us the next week in the tournament. So don't be telling me, oh, yeah, then Vandy comes to town. We got that one. You ain't got nothing, know.
And that to me, I try to stay positive because, look, St. Peter's, that stuff happens, right? You play in enough tournaments, that happens.
Does it, Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
just finally happened to us.
I mean, it's happened. It's happened to Duke. It's happened to everybody. It was our turn. So it's St. Peter's, and there's all these little things that have added up to this big thing.
Right.
For me, this is the thing is where I used to not have to pay attention to the games.
Exactly. I know.
Because I'll tell this quick story, Tina. I got a good friend here in town, Adam Jacoby. You had him on the show. He's an Iowa fan. Okay. And so we were going to Iowa to watch somebody play, maybe in that Caitlin Clark game, Vinny.
Oh.
And he's talking about how Iowa played Kentucky in the tournament back in the 90s.
Right.
And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it was their best team of like 10 or 12 years. They had all Big Ten guys. It was the 97 tournament. I'm like, I don't remember.
Don't remember it. Right.
It was the second round. And he's like, and I think Cameron scores a ball. Like he's giving the whole rundown,
Right.
everybody. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't.
Mercer, I'm like, and I honestly was like, I don't know if I watched that game because I don't know if I paid attention to that first week in the tournament.
Exactly. Well, you didn't have to because you knew you was going to be there the second week.
So all these first round games, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't remember it.
No, I don't either because why would you?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you were going to win. You just think about where you was going to be the next weekend and what day they was going to play the next weekend.
We didn't lock in until the Sweet 16. That's when we said, okay, all right. Here we go. Let's see what we going to do now.
Time to get serious.
Or like Ole Miss on the schedule. Yeah, I'll catch that. Or, whatever. But now it's like, I got to pay attention. How many wins do you see? That's not a conversation we should have on Valentine's Day.
We should not be looking at the schedule right now, not being able. You can't guarantee me one win for the rest of the games. Would you bet $100 on any of them games?
No.
No, and I'm a gambler. You know that. I mean, no. And I think it breaks my heart is what it does. And I think I just don't know what the solution is or if there is a solution. I don't know.
And it gives all the negative people that much more ammunition because folks are being ridiculous after 2015. And we all talked about like, there's nowhere to go but down after that. Like you're not going to get another 4 Final Fours in 5 seasons. Right. But I didn't know it was going to be this.
No. Well, and the thing is, people say, well, there's COVID. Well, everybody had to deal with COVID, folks. Okay, it wasn't just Kentucky basketball that had COVID. Well, that transfer portal, folks, everybody's got to deal with transfer portal. It's not like Kentucky has this little thing that nobody else has. Hell, Duke of North Carolina's had coach legends retire and new coaches come in. And what's North Carolina? Of course, they did get beat the other night, but they're ranked, number 7 right now? Mm-hmm. We were number 6 2 weeks ago.
After making the championship game 2 years ago.
At the bottom, I'm like, whoa. So I
hadn't lost 3 in a row in Rupp in our lifetime. I mean,
my lifetime is 66.
I'm like, I don't know I've never seen this before.
What would they have done if Billy Gillespie had done that? Yeah. If Billy Gillespie had done that, they'd have run him out. They'd have tied him to the end of the plane and let it just drag him.
His keys don't work. His keys to Memorial don't work.
They don't. Mm-hmm. Alan Cutler wouldn't be chasing him because he'd be dead somewhere. Somebody kill him.
Yeah. It sounds crazy, but yeah.
And here we are. And, the sad thing is there's nothing we can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen. I just hope it's positive and then in April we're all happy again. Because this is the worst I have ever seen it. Do you know what? I mean, I've seen it bad, but I ain't seen it this. The kids are great. I want to tell you something. Interacting with these kids, and it's not fair that Reed Shepherd is having to carry this team on his back right now. And he is.
Yeah.
I mean, why? I don't get it. I don't know. And I get tickled. I was watching last. Of course, I don't get to watch it on TV much, and I was watching last night. And they showed Cal on the sideline, and if you go back to even 2013 or 14, he was full of himself on the sidelines. He had that slick Italian hair and that Armani suit going on, and he was strutting his crap. And now he looks like some disheveled old man over there. Do you know what? Look at him.
He looks like a used car salesman. that's got a quota to reach.
Well, and he's not happy. He's wringing his hands, and before he'd swag along, now he's doing jumps and stuff. I don't know. That hip must not be doing too good. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
But
he's big difference between when he first got
I hope
here.
you get it back.
Mm-hmm. That's why I wanted to have you on, because you're not just somebody that's been negative just for no reason, just flying off the handle. I don't know if I saw Larry on Twitter or you say it was hard for you to write. Because
it was very hard. That was I will be honest with you, Vinny, in all the years that I've been doing stuff, that was the hardest article I've ever had to write.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was from the heart, and you can sugarcoat a lot, but you can't sugarcoat the state of Kentucky basketball right now. You just can't. I mean, we beat Ole Miss last night. Well, good. You should beat Ole Miss at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, if they go down and beat Auburn or beat Tennessee, granted, it's still good, but you still, it's not. We got a long way to go, and I will be sitting on pins and needles during that. Nothing's better than to be wearing Kentucky blue. Used to be when you go to the NCAA tournament, okay? Because people be like, oh, hell, there's Kentucky. They're going to whip our ass. And now it's like, I hope we win tonight so I can go next week. No. You need to swag in there,
Yeah. And I always started off rough and take their lumps as the young teams, but then it's just taking so much longer to finally figure out what you got. And if it does come together, 2014, he couldn't win a game on the road,
right?
Forever. Still turned it around, and we saw how it ended up. But it's just that waiting game, I think, is what you're kind of talking about. Are we gonna turn it around? These pieces are better than what the results
you've ever had. Yeah, I mean, your pieces have been there a long time. You look pretty good in Toronto, and bless Big Z's heart. He's a sweet guy, but does he know where he's at out there? Because I sometimes don't think he does.
No. I expected him to come in January, and I know the Georgia game was electric, but
he's just happy to be here, and he's a great teammate, I'm sure. But the weight of the world can't rest on Z's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
He provides a spark, but the other night I was sitting with Dick Gabriel, and I'm sure Sean Smith might have been there too. And I said to them, you know what? I got a bad hip that I'm going to have work done on probably next year. And I'm like, I believe I could score on this team, me, Dick Gabriel, and Sean Smith. And I couldn't jump or move. They just put me somewhere, throw me the ball, and we'd score. Do you know it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's just not, it's not going to get it. So, but let's all hope that things change.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is hopefully this sets up for a dramatic March run.
Let's just say, yes, I agree.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all just sit there and keep our fingers crossed and see what happens in March, and then we'll talk again in April and see what's happening in April.
The only good thing is being out here in Iowa, there's no water cooler talk, so I'm kind of
you're good.
Until I get on the Twitter, I don't have to entertain all these. What do you think is wrong? I guess get to stay in
every day. Well, my office is at the courthouse, so everybody's got to come to the courthouse, and everybody's got to stick their head in my office and go, "What the heck's wrong with them cats?" Tina? I'm like, if I knew I'd be making $10 million a year, I wouldn't be sitting behind this desk. So,
except for my one coworker that's a Kansas fan.
Oh, gee. Well, they got whipped the other night too. But.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I like this job. I don't want to have to fist fight you.
Yeah, I don't
want my wife to put me out, but you don't quit talking slick to me, Jayhawk.
That's fun. Well, hopefully coming up, you'll call me and I'll be on my way to the tournament, wherever it may be.
That'll work. That's why we had to have you on here. It was just have some real talk with you. It was therapeutic for all of us, and we let our opinions be of what we've been seeing, and hope it. We all hope we're wrong. We all do, but we also aren't blind to what we've been.
Right, we can't be stupid,
Yeah, can't just.
I love it. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Love you all, and never forget Pink Fuzzy made her appearance
That's
tonight.
There we
right.
go.
We
Because
appreciate
we
it.
You'll
family.
never have listen. You will never have another guest in a Pink Fuzzy
That's
household.
right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's right.
The one and
I
only
have
you.
set the standard. I have set the standard.
You are still the gold standard,
The
Tina.
pink standard.
I love you guys. Take care. Okay.
You
Take
too,
it easy, Tina. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you so much. Tina Cox, Vault's Views, doing her thing for Larry Vault. That article's actually on yoursportsedge.com. A reality check with Kentucky basketball is not fun. She wrote it about a week and a half ago. So, but yeah, you know.
It is true. Like, even the positive people, you know, there's not a lot positive, right? But here's the thing when it comes to this, and I don't want to tell fans how to fan, but people love to take that next step. You just can't be mad because the team lost or whatever. You got to take it to these next steps. And people are like, well, y'all keep accepting the losses. Who is okay with these losses? What Kentucky fan said, you know what, that Gonzaga game, that was cool. Who are you? Who are you saying? I'm one of the most positive fans. I'm like, yeah, that was garbage, man. That was absolute garbage. Tennessee, Florida, like, what are we doing?
Because how you wasted? How do we 7 losses? Scored over 80 in 6 of them. Scored over 90 in 3 of them. That's hard to do.
And it's just, you can look at in the game situations have to be better. I don't know what that lob play was against Gonzaga, but what are we doing?
Yeah. And just getting punked in the post. How many little jump hooks did they hit? 2-foot shots, just where you blow on, just move out the way, Ugo. Move, Bradshaw. I'm about to just do this work.
The Cats have to show toughness.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. You can be a good person, but you have to have some toughness. And that's what really this team has been missing. Oscar was a great rebounder, but he wasn't physically imposing. And that's the edge that I think that we're missing.
Yep.
We can have all the wings and all this, but we need some dudes. We need a Chuck Hayes.
Liggins, Hayes, MKG.
Ain't
they ain't backing down from nobody.
Hey, let's go to it. I just, it's disheartening because some of that stuff, it's not even about coaching. And I'm very slow to criticize young men in positions I've never been in. But if you play in basketball, you get bumped. You got to bump back. That's just a basic basketball kind of thing. You can't shy away from the contact. I tell the story all the time about my big brother Kent. Took me to the Shawnee Park basketball courts in this is the early 80s. See, I grew up in the suburbs because my parents had reached a different financial status. My brothers grew up in Newburgh. Okay, a little bit different. They played on the street. I learned how to play basketball in a air-conditioned gym with a nice clean floor, nets on the backboards. That's how I learned to play. So Carol said, we're going to go play basketball. I said, great, I can play basketball. And I'm like, outside on the blacktop with chain nets? Okay, all right. And I played, and I got bumped a couple of times. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Went to my brother. I said, hey, we got to go. He's like, no, I'm playing. You get back over there. I said, well, they bump. He said, well, you bump them the hell back. Like, what are you doing? Which is a life lesson in there, right? I tell that story all the time. I just want to see the Cats bump back.
And not fake tough bump back, like real bump. Like, I love Bradshaw, but he come with that little fake tough, clapping and the little push and trying to start the little brawl against Tennessee. And then
do it tough before the whistle blows.
Be tough when you playing post defense. This is cool, but then you still getting scored on and you getting punked and moved out the way. I love him, but he fake tough. And
We
talking about toughness. We talking about real toughness, and
we need real tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need. Be strong with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a physical; it's a mental kind of tough. Like like Tyler Eulis, you ain't just gonna come take his rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like that's what we need.
And the last time when Tyler played with a guy that he was in need some toughness. You remember when he chucked Scal in his chest in the huddle because you remember during the timeout, and some of that needs to be done. And if the dude is punky, look, we haven't played this level, but you getting pushed around, front him or wrestle around with him down there and provide some resistance. Foul him, bang him, or something. Let him know you there. Don't just get pushed in the press row where Jerry Tipton used to sit underneath the backboard. I mean,
all this about the defense and rebound, it's about toughness, man. It's about want to.
Mm-hmm. Because they want to score 90 a game, and they proven they can do that. They do that easily.
Well, that's
pretty much every night.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And I think what people, when we look at particularly like that 96 team, right? Everybody remembers 86 points and 90 points here and 80 points there, but they would lock you up.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Epps, you mentioned Eulis. Anthony Epps was on there. He wasn't taking no mess.
They locked down Tim Duncan. Okay.
I mean,
you got to take pride in that, right? That's the thing is the tweak for that 2014 team. And I used to use that team as, Cal can figure it out. But the difference was that team had showed progress. And even though they were losing on the road, there was at Arkansas, I don't think they even got a shot up, with the Brandon Knight. No, yeah. I'm getting confused. But anyway, the 2014 team, they were there, right? But this team, look, you and I talk about all the time. When it comes down to being successful at anything, what can you do when the pressure is there? As I just saw in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs know Kelsey can get open and Mahomes can deliver him the ball. Mm-hmm. No matter what the defense is doing, we got it.
Nope.
What does this team hang its hat on?
No. When they absolutely got to have it.
Is right now we got good guys. We got guys that can shoot. Guys can get you a bucket. But to quote team, who would you put money on to be the dude?
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, we try to make it complicated. I was explaining this to Kate. She's not a huge basketball aficionado, but basketball comes down to this. Do you have a dude or a dudette, talking about Caitlin Clark, that can go get a bucket and it doesn't matter what else is going on?
Yeah.
That's how you separate the very good from the great.
Yep.
Dudes that can go get you a bucket, right? That is to steal that from Bomani Jones, where it's like, all right, everybody get on my back. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And that is honestly what we've been missing for Kentucky basketball.
Yep.
Somebody be like, all right, stuff's going to crap. Got it. Like we talked about. Hakeem.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 or 4 years in the 90s, he was the dude.
Yeah.
With or without MJ. It's like Hakeem looked around, was like, all right, Vernon Maxwell, Mario, Eli, Ellie, Kenny Smith. All right, cool. I got this. Right? I mean, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Get on my back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about basketball. We try to complicate it. We try to make it motions and shot charts. Do you have somebody go get you a bucket?
Mm-hmm.
That's all basketball is.
Yep.
That's how Giannis and the Bucks won.
Yeah.
That's how the Raptors with
Kawhi.
That's how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how it is. That's how the Lakers won. Because LeBron was like, I got this. That game 6 in the bubble, he put up like 30-something points in the first. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about basketball. It's Zeke. 28 points at third. I got it. Come on. I'm 6 foot. I got this.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful about basketball. Last year, Jokic. When everything started going, get the ball to Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows what's happening. Can't nobody stop it.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part about basketball is you find somebody like, hey, I got this. We need somebody to say they got this.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I might get flack for this. It can't be Reed Shepherd. I think we said this before this. I'm like, if Reed Shepherd's our best player, that doesn't bode well for the team. He's fantastic. His numbers are great. We need one of these other lottery picks to rise to the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Because SGA, he became that dude. We thought it was Kevin Knox. He wasn't built for it. Shea said, I got this. I love his mixtape, right?
Yeah.
We had De'Aaron Fox. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
When Fox was like, hey, one of the games in the tournament, somebody asked him, you worried about the defender? He's like, I'm not worried about the defender. I can get by that guy. I'm looking at everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. we need that. Tyler Hewlett. All right. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're missing. People may not like the Harrison twins, but they figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there anybody else under Cal that you'd rather give a last second shot to other than the dude that did it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, going back to the John Wall. All right. We're going to live and die with it. We died with it, but we need that and we don't have it.
Yo.
Stop overpassing and drive the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
Be a little bit selfish.
Yo.
Because you overpass, you give up a lay, you miss a layup, fast break the other way. That's a 4-point swing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think it was Tennessee. I'm like, Dilly, lay it up. What do you do? You never pass it back. You lay it up. That's basic.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm rambling, but I hope they turn it around. Obviously, I hope they figure it out. I've got nothing else to do except have that hope, but hope ain't much, man. Hope ain't much. I usually could talk myself into, like, even last year, if Oscar can give us a 30-20 game, which is capable of, like, okay, we could probably figure that out, right?
Right. As much as that was the ask. As much as that was the ask, yes. Yep.
Right. Okay. But how many, like I talk about, whenever you have these hypotheticals and you have to go 2 or 3 steps, that it's just about, like, what would it take for Kentucky to get to a Final Four? A lot of, this and then this has to happen. Like, oh man, like, no, man.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, they'll be all right. I'm a little bitter because I watched Super Bowl and
you're right, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Most people ever watch my team choke away in the overtime.
Yeah, man. That's a tough pill to swallow, man. I hate to be that close so many times, but all they can do is reload, man.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. NFC ain't got nothing for real.
That's right. And we gotta change that. Somebody NFC gotta change that. We'll see if that happens.
Dakota Prescott gonna do it?
I don't know, man. The stuff Tony Duck be sending me that he finds just for everybody dogging Dak. I hate to laugh, but I had to because it's funny. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm waning on that, kind of like we are right now with what we send from the Cats. You just gotta show us. The Cowboys gotta show me. The Cats, the rest of the way, they gotta show me. Can you go to run? Yeah, all the pieces are there. even when you have a couple guys out, you still got enough talent. When Wagner's out or Mitchell's out, you still got enough pieces to be able to do work. You got to show us. My Cowboys, they got to show me. Do I have a lot of faith in McCarthy? No. But we'll see. They either get over that hump that is the 49ers or they won't.
Yeah, it just, man, choke artist. It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
But Cousin did get that interception. I was hooting and hollering for that.
Yeah.
But look, even when we were up 10-0, Mama B will tell you, I'm sitting there watching it like I am not, outside of the Jair Brown interception, touchdowns. Okay. I mean, because I'm like, man, I'm not letting myself get up like that.
You knew you need to have more. You need more acorns for the winner in form of points.
Well, that too, and going back to the Super Bowl, that trickeration play, that was great. But I'm like, is that what we got to do to score?
Mm-hmm.
We just can't put this in CMC's belly. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was cool, and now I got to show love to Juwan Jennings.
Yeah,
from Tennessee.
Uh-huh. Who would have been MVP if y'all had won. So I mean,
it was a great performance, but it is what it is. Like I told you, your team losing the Super Bowl is tough, man. Look, I've watched and listened to 0 sports podcasts since Sunday.
I believe it.
I am not having y'all out here besmirching my team's name.
Mm-hmm.
Because you catch more hell losing the Super Bowl than not making the playoffs, than losing in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Making the Super Bowl should count for something. But maybe that's loser talk or whatever. But y'all not going to have us out here being compared to the Eagles and the Cowboys. Get out of my face with that.
I understand completely.
They got more questions. How we got more questions than damn Cowboys and Eagles? we beat them by a combined like 84-30. Why we got more? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
49ers got more questions than who?
Than
the Packers. We beat them.
Sure did.
Detroit beat them too.
Mm-hmm.
We beat every team that made the playoffs.
Yeah.
The only time we lost was the Rams, and it was week 18 when I got some reps.
Straight. You said Mama B. You said Mama B was like you cussed in the house. Did you get into the bourbon at the house too, or
no?
Mama B?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No. She said you can say some bad words. I didn't, because, like I said, I was honestly just sitting there.
You didn't let yourself even get worked up. I got you.
When it went to overtime, I was like, man. And then we drove. Had to kick a field goal. I was like, oh, hell.
Mm-hmm.
Hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, man.
That left that door open. You already knew what was about to happen. Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, you got to show me the body. One last thing about Patrick Mahomes. I know we got a lot of folks that are Cincinnati fans.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell y'all something. No one cares that Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes in that AFC Championship game 3 years ago. No one cares.
No.
You see all this stuff about, well, I guess it's up to Burrow. What are you talking about? Joe Burrow gets more mileage out of beating Patrick Mahomes the one time in the AFC Championship game than Eli does of beating Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls. Burrow gets more run out of that than Eli did beating the undefeated Patriots.
Yeah, which that's really pitiful.
Well, Joe Burrow, this dude has been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 seasons as a starter and has won 3. Joe Burrow is not that dude.
Yeah.
Well, he got a winning record. I know we try to keep this clean. Joe Burrow ain't won shit. Like, I'm so like, well, Joe Burrow do it. Do what? What are you talking about, Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yo.
Well, Joe Burrow been in the Super Bowl. Damn it. So has Jimmy Garoppolo.
And
he went to a Super Bowl and lost it. So
Jake Delhomme went to a Super Bowl.
What are we doing? I'm so tired of Cincinnati fans. Well, Joe Burrow, buddy, 6 seasons as a starter, 6 AFC championship games, 5 Super Bowls, and 3 Super Bowl wins. Like, that's a career. And y'all talking about the one time that you beat him and he didn't go to the Super Bowl. What, you want a cookie? Joe Burrow, man, every time I see that, I'm like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't seen Giants fans talk about Eli beating Peyton Manning or Tom Brady that much.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like the one time. What are you talking about?
I don't know what's wrong.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
we talk about that one time Chris Chandler beat Troy Aikman. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You're the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
I know. I should let that.
They delusional, but I'm like, no, that was
but I'm
good.
Like, Joe Burrow, he's our only hope. What are you talking about? Patrick Mahomes is dog walked every top quarterback in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar was MVP this year. Patrick Mahomes beat him.
Sure
Went to Buffalo, beat Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beat him. Talking about Will Burrow, man, because he beat him the one time. He's been to 5 Super Bowls. He's like 28. What are we, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, right. I got a beef. I got to axe the grind about Cincinnati anyway.
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right, man. That's good stuff. And well said. Well said, Burrow Shade.
He had a great season at LSU. Look at his receivers, dude. Like, come on, man. Yeah, Joe Burrow was great. Anyway, I got to let that go. I'm glad I excised that.
Absolutely. I'm glad too, man. I'm glad too.
Happy Valentine's Day to the ladies.
Hey, yes, absolutely. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Both Kates and Tina and her pink robe and all that good stuff. Thank her for coming on. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was thinking about you Sunday for sure. So, but we'll be back next week. See what happens at Auburn, and congrats to UK softball too. They out here balling already, beating Stanford, and 4-1. And Coach Lawson got them playing some ball. So
there you go.
Doing big
all cats, everything, baby.
Absolutely.
Gymnastics is number 5 in the country, or number 3 or 5. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
They went to Bama and beat Bama. They've been posting some 10s. All cats, everything, baby.
Absolutely. So, man, we'll be back next week. Keep doing what we do. See if we have a guest or not. But, appreciate the BS3 Network. Appreciate you, Terry Brown. Appreciate Tina Cox. Been another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday. We'll be back next week. Download that Autograph app, and we'll holler at y'all next time, maybe.